Welcome to the 74th episode of the Meeple Society, a podcast about board games hosted by two longtime role players turned avid board gamers. My name is Katy.
I'm Greg.
On this episode, we talk about our only recently acquired game, unfortunately the last of our grail games. We discuss basic gaming etiquette in your own game room or any place else you might find yourself over a game. We go through 4 recently played games and rate them new, old, borrowed, or it just blew. And finally, we open up that mailbag again for a question that actually sent me delving into the search features on BGG. But first,
if you're wondering why this one is late,
if you noticed.
Yeah, if you noticed, I hope you guys noticed. Because we usually, every 2 weeks on that Monday, it comes out. Well, this video should have been out last Monday.
Yes.
It's not going to come out till the 14th.
This video? When did we start recording video?
Shh. You don't see the cameras. She doesn't see the cameras.
Okay.
Don't tell her. Anyway, this podcast will be out the 14th of October, which is this coming Monday. The reason why is because I suddenly gotten a chronic cough.
Yeah. We usually record on Sunday, release on Monday. And Sunday, you just couldn't stop coughing.
No, I was.
So, yeah.
I had been coughing so much for the past week almost that I feel like I either bruised or broke a rib. It's not so bad today, but there for a while I was like, oh, geez, it hurt to cough. My throat was like raw. So if you hear me breathing heavy, I don't mean to, but our sound should be better.
I hope.
Because we just forked out some money for some new mics. So hopefully it comes across better.
Hopefully you've noticed that.
Yes. But other than that, we will see you on the 14th. That's when this is dropping. So if you're listening to it on the 14th, you realize, wait, this should have came out last week. Oh, sorry. It's better to do it now because every once in a while I'll have to pause and cough probably because I'm still coughing a little bit. Not as much, though,
right.
But I still do cough. And it's all because of my job and what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And a lot of dust and mildew and mold and stuff. So,
again, this is why they make face masks.
Oh,
I'm
whatever.
just saying. And we have them.
Yes, I have them on my truck. So.
That's good.
But I hardly ever use it because I have a very sensitive nose, okay? Not sensitive as in the act of smelling things because it doesn't work that way. It's just I hate things touching it.
Well, better than getting into your lungs.
This is true. And with that cough, it kind of activated my asthma, which hasn't given me any problems in years.
Yep.
And now I've probably hit that emergency hailer more than I have in the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Good thing I keep one on hand, huh?
Right. So let's get into the podcast. Stop talking about my chronic cough.
You're the one who started it.
Before I start having another coughing fit. Right now, the only thing that bugs me is my one eye. The bottom of my eye itches. I don't know why. It just does. It's been itching for the last couple of days.
I will trade you that for my pinched nerve.
Always got to outdo me, don't you? So let's talk about what's new to our YouTube channel. So since the last recording, which was 3 weeks ago, we rank all of the pandemics. This is the video of all the pandemics and in the pandemic world or verse, as you want to call it.
Yeah, all of the games that use that system.
Right.
That use that 4 cards, 4 actions,
including,
blah, blah, blah. Or not 4 cards, but 7 cards, 4 actions.
Yeah, like Fall of Rome and High Tide. And then the Cthulhu one.
Cthulhu, Star Wars, and World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Includes all of those.
And then all
we did kind of
shoot-offs and expansions.
Yeah, we did this kind of weird joint ranking. We each ranked them separately and then added the numbers together and then put them in numerical order, and that's the way they fell.
Yep.
So it kind of got the video, I do show what we each ranked it because it was actually kind of interesting to see a lot of my higher ones were your lower ones. Some of our ranks. Yeah, we definitely each liked different things.
And then also we got out playing through our collection,
Yep.
episode 65, version or episode what of the piece?
4 of the P's.
Four of
We
the
have
P's. We have four
more to go, but we
Jeez.
just recorded one
Mm-hmm.
last night, so I'm in the process of editing it now. By the time this drops on Monday, chances are I'll have that episode 66 out, if not the same day, a little before then, or right in that general ballpark.
And we have another go back video coming, but
Yeah.
Katy's being mean and will not allow us to record it till after all the P's are done.
We can record it.
See,
I'm not releasing it till after all the P's are done.
She's making you wait for all these games we've picked up, especially from Kickstarter.
Yep.
She's being mean.
Whatever. I don't want to do 2 go back videos in the middle of the P's.
Let her know what you think.
It'll be a good buffer between the P's and the Q's.
Mm-hmm.
So there.
And we currently really don't have a top 10 scheduled. I have some
No.
ideas, and I think I have the ranking list ready to go. We just haven't done any. Let's move on from there to our what's new in the collection. We have one game.
One new game.
One new game. No new Kickstarters,
Nope.
no new acquisitions, except for this
Nothing
one
we
new game.
haven't already talked about anyway.
Right.
Yes. So the new game is a game called Chimera Station.
Yep.
We picked this up from a gentleman that we met at the Dice Tower Retreat last month.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about it on a previous episode, so I'm not going to go back into it again. But this is one that was our Grail game.
Yep. The last one we actually had on the list.
Yes. Well, we've only ever had a couple. This was our most recent, and we need to find a new Grail game, apparently. But this one is all about building out a space station. It's a worker placement. Everybody has so many little aliens that they're putting out. The neat thing with this is it almost has like a Lego feature to it where you are
I thought
putting
more like
in,
Duplo blocks.
well, yes. Okay, fine. But you are adding in different pieces into your alien between their head and feet. Claws or tentacles or brains or leaves. The leaves allow you to eat for free because you don't have to feed those ones. But it's an interesting game. We've always enjoyed it. We played it for the first time, Dice Tower Retreat 2021-ish,
Yeah.
I think. And we've
'cause
played it at several cons since.
Yeah, I'd heard it discussed on a lot of podcasts and everything, and I'd seen pictures of it and everything. I said, that looks cool. I really want to play it. We couldn't find it anywhere. And I found it at the retreat that year and said, we're playing this.
Yes.
And then we decided both of us liked it. And
We
it's
did.
been our con game for a long time.
It was.
But now we own it.
Now we own it.
We can still play it at cons, though, but normally
We
when we
could.
go to the retreat, we play games that we don't have.
Right. We try to focus on the ones we don't have so we can spend more money on them. You can't see me rolling my eyes.
No, you can't.
But there will be no more games, no more new games until after Christmas. Well, until Christmas, because there'll be games at Christmas, because there always are. But I put a squash on spending any kind of money on board games until Christmas.
What she's not telling you, folks, is that she backed a Kickstarter.
That won't be until next September.
And
So
when do you
shush.
pay for it?
In 18 days.
Exactly. See, she's already broke her own rule.
There will be no new games enter this house that we had to pay for before Christmas. It's only 2.5 months. You can survive.
Okay. I wonder if I can get somebody to buy a game for me and I'll pay him back after Christmas. Justin, you want to go pick this game up and I will get you back after Christmas?
Whatever. Anyway.
What if I've been really, really good? Never mind. Should have seen the look I got, guys. Should have seen that look. Let's move on before I get into trouble here. We're going to move into our Banter, which you think's a really weird...
I think that's a silly name for a theme. It is what it is. It shouldn't be the name of the segment.
It's your Banter. Well, would you rather call it?
I don't know, but not that. If you have an idea,
Let's
guys.
talk about a bunch of stuff.
Yes.
Okay, we'll start calling it stuff.
Random stuff.
Random stuff. That's the new name. Random stuff. Go ahead, change it on the notes there.
Okay.
Random stuff.
I'm changing it.
I need to find something to say that says random stuff.
Random stuff, colon. Oh, except that the column's not wide enough. I have to merge some stuff.
Merge the column.
There you go. Better.
There you guys go. Editing on the fly. Okay, so in the column of random stuff, I want to talk about Essen versus Gen Con attendance. This year at Gen Con, we had 71,000 people, which was a new record, and the first time Gen Con has ever sold out before the doors opened.
Right.
Which is a feat on itself.
Well, I thought they did in
not before they sold out during the con. This was the first year they sold out.
The 50 year?
Yeah. They sold out. The final day sold out after the doors had already opened. This one sold out before the doors even opened.
Wow. Like weeks before the doors opened.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Now, Spiel this year, Spiel just got over.
Which is one benefit for recording late.
Yes. They had a attendance of 204,000 attendees.
Okay, but.
And sells out for the first time.
Wow.
But this is not their highest attendance. Their highest is 209,000.
Wow. But I thought I had read somewhere, and it wasn't this year, but I know I've read in the past where they count their attendees by entry.
Right.
Not by tickets sold, but by entry.
Mm-hmm. They do what do they call it? The gate count or whatever it is.
Something like that, yeah.
Turnstiles.
So each day you go, you're counted as a new person.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go all 4 days, you're counted as 4 people.
Mm-hmm. And I wonder how many of that is people coming in and then leaving for a little bit and then coming back.
Right, exactly. So that can't possibly be an accurate count. So now I don't know if they've changed it, but that's what I heard last year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I can see that. And yeah, I remember hearing that they don't, their count is
They
different.
don't count the actual tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Gen Con counts unique attendees, unique tickets sold. So now obviously not everybody's there at one time because some people only buy for specific days of the week, but still 71,000 tickets sold.
Yeah. Now, they do show, it says here, the attendance remained just shy of the record 209,000 attendance Spiel set in 2019, and figured it was unlikely to equal this year's as the event set a daily cap on how many people could be in the halls at one time.
Okay.
And it says that combined with the German Unity Day national holiday landing on a Thursday of the show led to 4-day ticket sales selling out several days before the event began.
Wow.
Thursday and Friday tickets sold out the day before Spiel opens its doors, and Saturday tickets all gone on day one. The Sunday tickets also selling out before the end of the show.
Nice. Well, yeah, I was just looking through here. It looks like they cap it at 50,000 people per day on site at the same time.
Okay.
So the
but
2,000
those 50,000 people could be the same 50,000 people the next day.
And the next day and the next day, yeah. So, or like I said, if you hit 204, I'm sorry, then obviously that is taking into account people leaving the vicinity for lunch and then coming back or something. I don't know. It's interesting. The numbers are staggering, that's for sure.
Yeah, I know some of the vlogs we saw on the Dice Tower from Essen this year, it looked like Gen Con on some of those, especially the ones that Chris was doing because he got stuck in traffic basically in the halls. But the other ones they were showing, it was later in the day and people were already leaving and that, so there wasn't as big of a crowd. And they kept telling you, don't think that this is the way the crowds are all the time. This thing is jam-packed.
Yeah.
And they have 6 halls?
7.
7 halls.
Yeah, 7 halls.
And looking at the halls when they show it, I'm not quite sure they're the size of the...
I don't think they're the same size as Gen Cons, but when you add all 7 together, it's going to be bigger.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot bigger because I think maybe 2 of those halls are probably the size of the dealer room at Gen Con.
Possibly.
So
I don't
it's
know.
a lot bigger.
It's something...
It is the biggest one out there.
Yes,
so.
and it is something we've always dreamt of going to, and someday we will. We had planned on going for our 30th wedding anniversary. We did not. And I don't remember why we didn't now, but I think it must have just been money. I don't
Probably.
remember. But we did not. We ended up doing a 3-week road trip at home instead.
Mm-hmm.
Probably would have been cheaper to go to Europe.
Oh,
but
no,
hey.
home, but we did a big old loop.
3-week road trip here in the States.
In the States, yes.
So, someday, maybe for our 35th is this year. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So maybe for the 40th.
Maybe
I don't
40.
know. But someday.
You know we're dating ourselves, right?
I know we are.
Okay.
But someday we hope to do a big 2 or 3 week road trip through Europe and include Essen in there.
Yep.
That
was our plan.
That's the dream. Someday.
Yep. Okay. Board game etiquette. I wanted to talk about this because I listened to other podcasts, like I've said before. This one's specifically, there you go, specifically was The Secret Cabal. If you ever listen to Secret Cabal, it's a very good podcast. But they have, every once in a while, they have the People's Court. And one of the guys becomes the judge, and everybody else reads the story and tries to defend both sides of the story. And this one was basically board game etiquette, because the guy who wrote in said he had just gotten the game, Hard Rock 1977, brought it to the game store. They punched it and got ready to play it. And, of course, Hard Rock brings a lot of attention with other people in the room. They said they were sitting at a game table. They did have drinks, but the drinks were within reach of them, but they weren't anywhere near where if they moved their arm wrong, they were going to knock it over. It was out of reach for that. They said as they were starting to play, they were probably not even through the first round, a random guy who was standing around watching the play reached across the table to look or pick up, I can't remember exactly, at one of the components. And in doing so, knocked over a drink, spilling it out on the table, on the cards, on the board. And as everybody is scrambling to get the pieces up and out of the fluid and everything, he just kind of stood there and did absolutely nothing. To the point why they were still trying to clean it up and dry things out. He asked, well, what do you think of the game? In the story, it's like, we just started the first round. Now, one, that's bad. If you knock over a drink on it, at least help clean it up.
Yes.
He
Apologize, something.
Yeah, he made no attempt to help clean it up.
So what kind of defense did they give for this guy? Because
Not a lot.
I can't even imagine the defense you have no leg to stand on.
No. Not a lot. I think the only offense they had is that somebody had a drink on the table that was spillable. But that's beside the point. They had it away from them enough that...
You're not in the game. Don't touch stuff.
Exactly. Leave the stuff alone.
Oh,
Ask
my
questions,
gosh.
point at things, but don't reach across the table.
Oh, and I would not, but I would be tempted to smack some hands. If somebody reached across my table and picked up a component off the board of a game I'm playing and I don't even know you, your hand is getting smacked.
Yep. Now, the game store owner was a friend of the guy who brought the game.
That's good.
And he actually, the game store got him a new game because the game was trashed. But this guy who knocked it over didn't even offer to pay for the new game, or at least offer to pay for half of the game. He didn't do anything.
It's just, there's no excuse.
And that is like, I would like ban him from my store from coming in if that's the attitude he has around somebody else's game.
Yeah.
And Rock Hard is still kind of, I mean, it's out there now.
It's new. It's only been out since August.
Right.
It's still brand new.
Yeah, it's still brand new. And like he said, he just punched the game. He hadn't even got to play it yet.
Yeah.
And it was already ruined because this guy decided he was going to reach across the table and knock over a drink and then not care that he just ruined this game. He just wanted to know how everybody liked the game. Yeah.
You need to go away now?
Yes. You need to. Oh, I do remember at the end of this thing, they said that the guy had mentioned that he did actually get up after everything was good. He did actually have to get up and walk out of the store. Not the guy who knocked it over, the guy who owned the game.
Right.
Because he was afraid he was going to do something stupid and regret it. Which
Probably
was
good
probably
plan.
something I would have done.
Good plan.
Yeah. Because, I can have, at times, I can have a short temper.
Well, especially when somebody does something stupid and won't apologize for it and won't even acknowledge that they did something wrong.
Up.
And that's the most frustrating part, is that you don't even acknowledge it, that you're in the wrong.
Yep. So, I know at our house, because we're kind of talking like in your own game room and other people's houses at their game room, or
Right.
at a convention, or even like at the Dice Tower Retreat, when there are a lot of games there that aren't yours and you're not at home. I mean, it's like, what is expected of you while you're there? And I know here, when we have friends over there, they all respect the game. They know how much money we've put into this collection and how much these games cost. I mean, even like when we're playing with Doug and Sarah's kind of like going, she's very delicate with everything, as well as Doug. And then you take the directions, you fold it backwards, and you're looking for it.
I paid for the game.
Oh,
Who cares?
Yeah. But we don't treat other people's games like that.
No, I don't. I treat my games that way because, I mean, they're my games.
Mm-hmm.
Who cares? But, well, I like shuffling cards.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people won't riffle shuffle cards because it could damage the cards.
Yes.
I was shocked when we took
Reef
Project to the retreat, and I handed the cards to somebody and said, "Here, shuffle these," and they were like, "Okay, but I don't riffle shuffle other people's cards," and they just started side shuffling.
They did the whole Magic the Gathering shuffle,
and I was like, "Oh, okay, it doesn't bother me if you riffle shuffle, it really doesn't," but. Because I riffle shuffle, but they asked, and I was impressed by that. So, and especially since I was teaching the game, I thought that was very sweet. But yeah, if it's my game, granted, we're going to end up sleeving those cards because that game saw a lot of play at the retreat. We got a lot more
place to do it if we're doing a playthrough of it.
Yes. So, but I thought it was sweet. But if it's my game, I don't care. Our pandemic cards, we probably need to sleeve our pandemic cards. They're getting kind of worn.
You think?
But yeah. But then again, we riffle shuffle them and they get shuffled constantly. So I don't know. My thought is and this is going to be bad to say now that I've just said how I treat my own games, because and don't get me wrong, we're careful with our games.
Yes, we are.
I store everything as easily as possible so nothing gets damaged. I store a lot of things in plastic containers so that things don't get damaged. But at the same time, it's not the end of the world if it does, unless it's out of print, and then I might get a little snippy. But most of our games, I'm not going to worry about it.
Damage it in a way.
Right.
There was no ill intent in
now, if it's somebody else's game, I'm a lot more careful.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's their money.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay for that game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have say in how it's treated.
Mm-hmm.
I treat it as if I would treat it as if it was one of our brand new games I just spent a fortune on. Very carefully.
Yep.
And then by the second or third play, I don't care. But if it's your game, I care. If it's my game, I don't care.
Because like when we go over to Doug and Mary's to play games, and they pull out some of their games, and a lot of their games, they come out, I mean, now is mostly a lot of them are the Kickstarters and the games they're trying to get played for their video, however they're doing it.
Yeah.
And he has to have somebody shuffle. I'm like, okay. And then I'll see like he's over there just riffle shuffling, and I was like, okay, I guess riffle shuffling's all right.
Yes.
But I won't, like you said, I won't riffle shuffle the cards because that's how I shuffle too, is riffle shuffle. I won't riffle shuffle unless they start riffle shuffling or something. Right.
Yeah, and riffle shuffling is easier. It's a better shuffle, but yeah, it does damage the cards. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. My thought is if it's not your game, don't eat while you're playing unless they've offered you food.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, now
like we'll have pretzels and sometimes we'll even have pizza.
Yeah,
and everybody is so careful.
Yeah, make sure they got plenty of napkins.
Yep.
And they're only eating with one hand, and they're still wiping that other hand off they're not even eating with before they start handling something.
Yeah. Which, I mean, honestly, we should not be eating pizza.
And the bad thing with me, though, I'll be eating the pizzas, and if the cards are sleeved, I'll just grab my cards, start going, then I'll regret it because then all of a sudden my cards are sticking together because
of all the
sleeves
grease.
Are no longer slick. So, okay, when we get done, just let me re-sleeve these.
Yeah.
And that's my own fault, but it's our game. Now, if it was somebody else's game, no.
No. Well, and I think we're the only ones who offer pizza when we're gaming, honestly, which...
Yeah, and people listening are probably going, you eat pizza at the table? No, we have side tables.
We do have side tables. The pizza is not on the table with the games.
It goes to the side.
And our table is actually very long. So if 4 players are playing, we usually have like a good foot on each end of the play area where you can put a drink or something if you don't, But usually that's taken up with player boards and rule books and components and whatnot. So, but anyway, I don't know. I think in my mind, treat the game as though it were yours. Treat that game as though you're the one who just spent the money on it.
Yeah, because games nowadays are not cheap.
No, they're not. The cheap ones aren't even cheap.
Mm-hmm. And that's, like I said, most of our friends that come here and play games with us, they know how much we put in that collection.
Yeah. Yep.
And they treat it as such. By the way, we've played Pandemic 23 times. I thought we played it more than that.
No, well, we were thinking of the Legacy game because we've played the Legacy multiple times. And
so that's just the original
that's
base
just
game.
the original base game. And again, we started playing in 2014. I didn't track back then.
Right.
So I only tracked 2018 and above.
So in the comments, let us know what your kind of etiquette, what you think is good etiquette or kind of house rules you have in your own game room.
There you go. Perfect.
Games we back. This is where Katy broke her rule already.
I did.
Well, in 18 days from the day we're recording this. By the time you guys hear it, it'll be 14 days.
13, 14, something like that. Okay, so I backed a game recently called Camping Season. This was put out by Sweater Bear Games. They recently, a year ago, did a Kickstarter for Bear Mountain Camping Adventure, and this one is getting ready to deliver. It is in the it's in the early delivery stages. The whole campaign intrigued me, and they've been very upfront with everything and working very hard to keep costs of shipping down. And they just strike me as really good people. And these are 4 young adults. They're probably young enough to be my kids, but but they just strike me as very down-to-earth people. From the videos that we've watched, and I'm very impressed with how they've run the first Kickstarter. And this game it caught my attention. In this game, you are developing, you are establishing and managing a campground. Tent, camper, cabin, the whole works, campground. You're having to maintain it, keep the toilets clean and keep the campground cleaned and all the various things that come along with running a business. So I'm intrigued by it. I love the theme. I love the look of it. And I really am impressed with how this company, these 4 young adults, have run the first campaign. So I wanted to support them and back the second one. So, but they've given themselves a year to deliver. It won't deliver till this time next year. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it.
This is still on Kickstarter, like you said.
This is still on Kickstarter.
By the time you hear this, like another 14, 13 days.
Yeah, you'll have a couple weeks if you're interested in it.
So check it out.
It looks really cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yep.
Something old, something new, something borrowed, and something that blew. These are 4 games we've recently got to the table. 2 of them are actually new Kickstarters we got. One, everybody has their opinion about. You see it a lot in Facebook posts and all over the place you see it. The other one, not so much. I don't think I've seen it anywhere.
I have not even seen one post on it other than the one you made.
And then 2 more on here that are actually kind of old. Let's talk about the one everybody's talking about, and that would be Andromeda's Edge.
Okay.
This is a space-themed game.
Set on, shockingly, Andromeda's Edge. The edge of Andromeda.
Yeah. Did you feel like you're on Andromeda's Edge?
I mean, you're building spaceships, and you've got your player board is your space station. And okay, I've said before, theme does nothing for me. It really doesn't. Theme is the artwork. And it's a pretty game. It is a pretty game. Is. I don't care how thematic a game is. I don't ever feel immersed in the theme. I just don't. It's just theme does not work on me, I guess. I'm not sure how else to put that. I don't. Even in some of the more thematic games, Rock Hard 1977. It's a super thematic game. kind of went right over my head. Didn't care. I
You
just
weren't
don't. I
really
don't like
ever
the theme.
into rock though, but
No, I wasn't. And it's just not the kind of thing that would normally appeal to me. But even then, any of the others that are really heavy in the theme, it's a game. It's mechanics thrown together. I enjoy that part of it. The theme might attract my attention, but it's not going to be what keeps me coming back to it.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yep. Anyway, your thoughts on Andromeda's Edge?
So Andromeda's Edge, just brief overview. We've played this one time so far.
Yes, at a 3-player count.
Yes. I have seen comments and talked to people who are on both sides of the fence on this one. Love it or hate it. Right now, I'm right on the middle of the fence because I've only played it once, so I'm not going to go either way just yet. I want to play it a couple more times. But basic overview. This is a worker placement where you're building out and placing out your ships into the various tiles or the various systems that make up Andromeda's Edge. And the game starts with so many out there already based on player count. And then as various things happen in the game, more get added. As various events happen, more get added. You are putting out your workers, your ships onto the various areas to do different things, pick up resources, convert resources, build out your programs. And I know that's not what they're called, and for the life of me, I cannot. They're projects. Projects. Yes. So you're building out your projects, and which are big pieces of plastic that help give you various benefits during combat. There are different things that are triggering the raiders to come out. If you go onto the same space as another opponent, you combat the other opponent, or you combat a raider. If you're in a space next to a raider, they're going to come find you when it's the end of the round.
Yep.
So just a lot going on, but I mean, I enjoyed it. I did. I definitely want to play it again because I can see both sides of that fence. I can see the attraction of it. I can see that building out your tableau, because one of the things you're doing is to buy modules to put into your space station.
Yeah.
And this is where you build your engine up, and you're using resource disks that come off of the other systems on the board to help build your engine up. As you're pulling your ships back from space back to your space station, you are activating various modules on your board and thus triggering those pieces of your engine. And I like that. I thought that was very intriguing. I was just starting to get one built when the game ended. And mind you, it dragged because it was our first game and we were constantly in the rule book. But I liked that part of it. I liked the track, going up the tracks, but I felt like there were a lot of different ways that trigger the tracks. And I know we forgot things. And those tracks, those are going to determine game end. They are. Because
that's where a lot of your points are coming from.
They are worth a lot of points.
Yes.
And if you forget to go up on a track, you've just lost anywhere from a couple to as many as 10 points by forgetting that, oh, hey, this action triggers going up on this track. So there's a lot you could easily forget in this one because so much is happening. That being said, I'm anxious to play it again.
Yes.
I am intrigued by it. So we'll see.
I think we need to at least try it at 2 with just me and you.
Yes.
Even though as competitively as we are, I don't know if we'll attack each other because you can attack other players in this game. Plus, but then also the
I feel with 2 players, the board's going to be so wide open that
you almost don't have to.
You don't really have to until somebody gets all their ships built, and then that board's going to get a little crowded once you're putting all your ships out.
Well, I think the initial tiles that come out are set by player
count. Yeah.
So there will be less tiles out at the beginning, but
only
it will
like
grow.
1 or 2 versus a 3-player.
Right. It'll grow.
Yeah, it does grow.
The miniatures in the game are awesome.
The production quality of the game is fantastic. That is no arguments there. It is a fantastic production quality. All of the plastic pieces are beautiful. The artwork is beautiful. It's a little overdone.
Yes, it is.
And it's not even so much the player pieces. The player pieces are fine. They're your standard various spaceships.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
It's the Raiders.
The Raiders, on the other hand,
Yes.
they put a lot of work into those Raider miniatures. Those are gorgeous.
I think that's what sold people on the game.
I think so too. And they are beautiful.
Yeah.
I'll give them that. Again, might be a little overproduced.
Yeah.
But
Like the Hive.
it's whatever.
The Hive's too big.
The Hive is very
It
large.
takes up the entire tile, and if you're supposed to be battling it, everybody's supposed to be on the tile, and you can't do that if you're battling the Hive.
Which we did have out. He came out, and each game only so many come out. You don't get all of them out, so you may not see some of these guys. So yeah, and the Hive it's a very large piece that has 3 little bees that attach to the shell, and the bees are what you're actually taking out.
Yes.
So anyway, it's a neat miniature, but it is very large.
Yeah, I think on this one, and I don't think I even realized it till after I watched Jeff's video on Tabletop Toolbox about this game, and I was like, you actually make a very valid point.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's of building those buildings. You spend a lot of time trying to get your ships into place, get all the resources you need to build those buildings. And then once you do it, you put it on top of your ship. Now you can't use that ship anymore. It stays on that same one. You get a card that has a one-time power on it. Right.
And it gives you it gives you some benefits in combat if it's near that system.
Right. But other than that, that's it. And you
Yeah.
spend a lot of time trying to get that out.
You do get to go up that track.
Yes, you do. But
so yeah,
I feel like it needed to have more than just a one-time power.
Maybe.
I mean, you're spending all this time trying to get these certain buildings up because you're like, oh, this will be cool. This will be cool. But it really, is it worth it?
I don't know. Got to play it more. Find out.
We'll have to try it out some more. Like I said, I want to try and play this with Bill.
Yes, we've got one friend who absolutely loves this game and is very enthusiastic about it, and I would love to play this with him.
Gameplay with him is always fun. He is so
upbeat.
He's a great rules teacher and always upbeat when he plays this game. He can make Monopoly fun.
He probably could.
Yeah.
Easily.
Okay, so the next game we're going to talk about is an older one, and that is Pictopia.
Yes, Pictopia, the Star Wars edition. We actually got to play this twice recently. We played it at 2-player because it's a 2 to 6, I think. So we got it in at 2. Really didn't like it. It was actually going to leave the collection. And then we suddenly decided to have this party game night this past weekend. And
last Saturday.
Yeah, this past Saturday. And had a total of 5 different friends come over during various points of the day. And in the afternoon, Doug and Sarah came over and joined us for a little while, and we pulled this out. They are big Star Wars fans as well. In fact, the last RPG game we ever got to play, that's not true because we did have the one, but anyway, was a Star Wars game that Doug was running that COVID killed. So, go figure. But anyway, so they are big Star Wars fans as well. So we pulled this game out. How this plays. This is a trivia game at heart. It's a trivia game. The front of each card has 4 pictures on it that are in some way related.
Yeah.
Typically, in some topic or the look of it or something. So 4 different pictures on the card. Each player has a dial. It's basically your voting dial, which you kind of lock in your answers on these. The back of the cards show 5 different questions. There's a die. When you roll the die, that determines which question you're going to ask. If it's your turn, you're the one doing the asking. Before the questions are read, before the die is even rolled, everybody is voting or is bidding with one secret bidding chip numbered 1 to 5. You are bidding with this this tells you how many points you're going to get if you get the trivia question correct. You can see the pictures. You just don't know what the questions are in relation to the pictures. So you're bidding your chip. The dice is rolled. Whoever's turn it is reads a question off the back of the card based on the die roll. 3 of the results on the die roll are group answer questions. Everybody kind of gets together and they talk about what they think the correct answers are. And it could be anything like, like one of the cards that comes to mind had 4 different pictures of Chewbacca on it. And one of the questions was, which of these scenes takes place at Mos Eisley?
Mm-hmm.
So everybody talked about it. It's this one. That's our answer. Everybody was right. Great. Everybody gets the points that they bid on their chips. One of the other ones, though, was like, which 3 of these pictures takes place after Chewbacca started running with Han Solo? So everybody had to kind of go through and figure, okay, which one is not it? And then that, leads you to the correct answers. So you're giving 3 answers at this point. So again, if everybody got all 3 answers right, which as a group you should have, then everybody gets their points. The 4th option on there is solo play. Everybody answers independently. It's a completely separate question. Everybody answers independently. And then the 5th one is I don't remember what they called it. It's more or less, what would I say? Right. Whoever's turn it is answers that question on their dial. And then everybody else has to answer the question as that person would answer. Mm-hmm. Not as you would answer, but as the person whose turn it is would answer. Like I think the Chewbacca one was, who at the table could basically give the best imitation of Chewbacca, more or less. So I would answer that question, and then everybody else would have to guess who I said. We had a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, the second time we played
First time,
this is not a game that should have said 2 players.
Because of the group play, it should not be a 2-player game. Yeah, it really is a 3+. It should be at
least 3.
Yes. So that play saved it. It is going to stick around. We thoroughly enjoyed it, and I think it has it was different for a trivia game. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed what it did.
And it's not a trivia game that will be outdated.
No, because it's based on a very classic IP.
Yeah.
So yeah, I very much enjoyed it. So that one's going to stick around.
Next, we had Phase 10.
Okay, so Phase 10.
Another old game.
This is another old one. Yeah, this one dates back to the 80s, I believe. Because I just edited this piece of... This one was in episode 66, which in the process of editing. Okay. All right, so Phase 10, as you might suspect, is played in 10 different phases throughout the game. Each phase requires something different. So everybody starts the game with 10 cards. You start each hand with 10 cards. You are drawing new cards and discarding cards, trying to get kind of like rummy or something. You're trying to make sets or runs of your cards, 4 different suits, 4 different colors, trying to make sets or runs of certain numbers and or colors. Like Phase 1 wants 2 sets of 3. Phase 2, I think, was a run of 3 and a set of 3, or run of 3 and a set of 4. I don't remember. But anyway, so you're playing through the different phases. As you get your 2 sets of 3, you can't lay anything down until you do. You get your 2 sets of 3 for Phase 1, you lay them down on your turn, and then you discard. Now you're down to 4 cards left in hand. Well, maybe I laid down a set of 3 and a set of 4, but Greg laid down a set of 8. Well, I now have an 8 in my hand. So I've drawn my card, I draw an 8. I play it on Greg's set of cards, and then I discard back down. Now I have 3 cards left. And I keep doing this until all the cards are out of my hand or somebody has gone out of cards. At that point, everybody scores what they have left in their hand, and those are considered negative points at the end of the game. Well, basically, whoever has the lowest score wins, essentially.
Right.
So you play through. If you manage to get your phase laid down, you laid down your 2 sets, then you can move on to Phase 2. If you did not get your 2 sets laid down, though, you have to basically start Phase 1 over again. Mm-hmm. And the game progresses like this until somebody gets through all 10 phases. So we played Phase 10. We played the base game, and it was fine. I lost miserably, but it's a good game. I can see why it's a classic.
Yeah.
We also have Phase 10 Masters. Mm-hmm. And when I was editing today, I realized that I must have misunderstood a rule when I was looking at the rule book. Because in Phase 10 Masters, there's 2 big differences in this game. One of them is they give each player a set of 10 phase cards. And I guess when I was reading it, I totally missed the section that explained these cards. I just assumed it was to keep track of what phase you're in, which is a nice feature, but it's not. It's because after you've looked at your 10 cards, your starting hand, you get to choose which phase you want to do. Now, you still have to play through all 10 phases, but you don't have to do them in order.
That would have changed things.
That does. And it makes it pretty interesting.
Yep.
So I don't know. I almost want to go back and play that one again now. But it also has this save feature where once per phase, you can save, instead of discarding a card, you can save a card.
Yeah,
so
that was handy.
Yeah, right. So you can like save an extra wild if you have it or something like that. You do something you don't want to discard for everybody else to save. But maybe you want to save it for yourself for the next round.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you don't know what your next hand of cards is going to be, but those wilds are nice to save. And then during a later phase, you can pull that card back out. Instead of drawing a card, you can draw one out of your saved hand.
Right.
Your saved pile. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We have a third edition of this. It's called Phase 10 Twist.
This is the one that I liked.
I agree. This one actually came with a board. Now, both of the versions, you have one draw pile, one discard pile. And when you're drawing, you can draw from the discard pile, the top card from the discard pile. Phase 10 Twist has 3 discard piles, with the only rule being if you take the last card from a pile, you have to put back into that same pile. You can't leave a pile empty. So basically, the next player always has to have 3. This one has a board with player pieces around the edge, and each of the phases is represented, some of the phases more than once. Like phase 1 is represented once, but phase 2 is represented twice. And then there's a twist space, and then phase 3, and then 4, and on and on. How far you progress on the board depends on how well you did in the phase you're in. So at the start of the game, everybody starts at phase 1, 2 sets of 3.
Yep.
If you did not complete the phase, well, let me go the other end first. If you're the one who ended the phase, not only did you get your phase down, but you also got rid of all your cards. Then you get to move ahead 3 spaces. So you're jumping both of those phase 2 spots and jumping straight to a twist spot. And I'll come back to the twist spot. If you got your phase down, but you're not the one who ended the round by going out, you still have cards left in your hand, you get to jump ahead 2 spaces.
Right.
What I really liked about it, though, is that if you didn't even get your phase down, you are not stuck. You do not have to repeat what you just did. You still move 1 space ahead.
Yeah, and that happened to me like twice.
Yeah, so now mind you, if you were on the 2 space, you only move 1, you're still on a 2 space.
Yes.
But at least you're progressing. And I do like that. So,
unless you only move 1-2 turns in a row and then you're redoing the same thing again,
well,
I had happen.
I thought it was pretty interesting in the twist spaces, and there were like 4 twist spaces on the board in between the various phases.
Yeah.
If you landed on that, you had 3 options. You could do the phase marked before it, the phase marked after it, or you could pull a special card from the phase deck. Mm-hmm. And those cards, basically, there were 10 of them that represented each of the 10 phases. So if the phase on either side of you was a run of 6 and a run of 8, well, maybe I'll take my chances and pull from the phase deck. Maybe I'll get the 2 sets of 3 or something.
Yeah, because it's a blind draw.
It's a blind draw.
Take the next one in line.
So I thought it was pretty interesting. Sarah ended up winning this one because she ended up going out on the last round and jumped past the 10.
Yeah, she got... Was I second?
I think you came in second. I don't remember. But it was a good game. I really enjoyed this one. I liked the board interaction. I liked the progression. That you never quite knew what your next round was going to be. And I liked the option of the 3 discard piles. I felt like that gave you some actual strategy. So, but yeah, I enjoyed that one very much. We are going to get rid of the base 2, phase 10 and phase 10 masters. And we're going to just hold on to phase 10 twist. Because honestly, if you want to play the base game of phase 10, just pull the cards out of phase 10 twist. It's the same game.
Right.
So just don't play with the twist rules.
Okay. I did come in second.
Okay.
It was Sarah, me, you, Doug.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
11, 10, 9, and 8.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So now the last one we're going to discuss was another Kickstarter we got in. This is the one I said you don't see anything really about.
No, you really don't see anything about this one.
This one was actually a relaunch because for some reason it did not back the first time through, though. But its predecessor, the game that came before it by the same designer, did the same thing. And that one's huge. And I just backed its recent Kickstarter expansion, and that was Dinogenics. But this game is Deep Shelf. So
It looks really intriguing. The
It
colors
is.
are gorgeous.
No, we've only played it once.
We've only played it once, even though it took essentially 3 days. Okay,
Because
first day was setting up and looking at the rules. Okay, fine. Second day was like 4.5 hours.
And then we had to leave.
We had to leave.
I've posted it on our Facebook group. Just like, is it bad when you're playing a game and you have to stop? Just you don't get to finish your game because you have to leave for a game night.
Yeah.
People kind of gave me that puzzled look, like, what? Weren't you already at a game night? No, we was at a game night I guess you could say it a game day in our own game room.
Yeah.
Just the two of us.
Yep. But we had a scheduled game day with Doug and Mary that night.
And a dill.
And a dill.
And his wife.
Yes. So, all right. So we ended up finishing it on Sunday, and it took another 3 hours on top of that.
And we spent a lot of time in the rule book trying to figure out does this tile do, what does that tile do, because each tile comes out kind of has a little bit different stuff on it.
Yeah, and there was some AP because we weren't quite sure what we were doing, but it was very interesting. So in this one, instead of exploring space, you are exploring basically the floor of the ocean. The idea is that, although ironically the premise of the game is that you have to mine from the ocean floor to get the minerals and the resources you need in order to build the spaceships to leave the planet, because the planet is dying. So they're still taking you into space, but this game happens under the ocean.
Yes.
Or in the ocean.
Into the deep.
Into the deep. There you go. Yeah, considering they mentioned the trench.
Yes.
The trench is one of the tiles.
Yeah, it's basically right there. Yeah. The trench is as far as out you can go.
Yeah. So, all right. So throughout this game, everybody starts out on the dock where they launch their submarines. And you are basically exploring out various tiles of the ocean floor. You have options of building various pieces of equipment on those ocean tiles. This one kind of plays in almost a Concordia style card play. Well, no, not even.
Not really, because you're playing 2 cards.
Yes.
And the first card goes in one slot. And then when you play the second card, it goes in its also separate slot, but you can use the extra power on the card.
Yes, only if it's played in the second slot.
Only in the second spot. Now, at the end of the round, you get that first card back.
Right.
The second card goes over to the overwritten or overwrite.
Overbooked or overworked.
Overworked slot, and
Yes.
you don't get it for the next round.
Right. So that card is locked out for a round.
And then the next round you do the same thing, and then that one that's in the second slot now goes to the overworked area, and then you get that other card that was already in that slot back into your hand.
So, and the cards are things like movement and building and extracting and various things that get you resources or help you build out your various pieces of equipment, your extractors or your... Oh my gosh, I can't remember what they're all called now. But anyway, there's also shuttles, or not shuttles, but they're crawlers.
Crawlers, yeah.
That move around and can help pick up the
around,
resources, yes, and help bring resources to you. There is a card that takes you straight back to the dock so that you can access all of your surface material, your surface supplies.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty interesting. There are ways to upgrade your sub so that it can move further or move faster, or you don't have to pay the extra pieces for diving into the deeper parts of the ocean.
Yep.
All sorts of different things that you can upgrade your sub with. So that piece of it felt a little bit like Eclipse to me. Just all of those technology tiles.
Because you can upgrade
tiles. Yeah.
You can upgrade your ships and stuff.
Yeah. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I want to play it again, for sure. Hopefully next time it's not 7 hours.
Yes. I do want to get it back to the table
yes.
pretty soon, though.
Each of the factions is different, and I like that. And they give you kind of an idea of how to play your faction. Now, I played mine completely wrong because I wasn't sure what we were doing yet. But next time I will know.
Right. This is another... I think Bill, I know we've talked a lot about Bill. I think Bill would love this game. I don't think he knows about it.
Probably not, but I don't think it's something we can take to a game night because it's too long.
Right.
So we're going to have to get Bill over here.
We'd have to do like an all-day game thing with him on that one.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I thought it was very interesting. And I'm definitely looking forward to getting this one out again and playing it. It was fun.
Yep. So that one's new.
That one's new.
Now, it does say 2023 on BGG, but
it only delivered like a month ago.
Yeah, because there was a delay because of some of the, I think, if I can remember right, during the Kickstarter, they had trouble with coloring.
I don't know.
Some of the coloring was too close,
so.
and they had to fix some things and that. And
yeah, wasn't one of the faction colors like came out really wrong?
I think that's.
I don't remember what it was.
It's something. There was some things they had to go back in and fix.
Yeah.
So it kind of delayed it, and then of course the whole shipping stuff going on, and they were But I think it's. I mean, when we got ours, of course, it had to be the blue sub was missing part of the blue, the top of the blue sub.
We still haven't gotten that yet either.
Yeah, I know. But I contacted them and said, "Hey, I have a bad sub. I'm missing part of my sub, the blue sub." He goes, "Take a picture of it, send it to me, and we'll see about getting fixed." And within minutes after I sent it, like probably 20 minutes went by, all of a sudden I had a response from him saying, "Yep, that one's broke. Send me your email, your address, and I'll send a new one out." Yeah. It hasn't arrived yet that I know of, so
no, I haven't seen it.
So, but the game still played fine. I played with the blue sub.
You're missing the tail fin basically on your sub. It's not even that big a deal.
No, the tail fin's there. I think it's actually the crew section of the ship.
Oh, well, whatever.
The driving
it's
part
a
of it.
little bitty piece, about 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah, that sits up on top of the ship. So
yeah,
he may end up just sending me an entire ship. I don't know.
Probably.
I don't know what to expect, but
yeah,
I think he's trying to wait till everything gets delivered. Then I'll get it, which is not a big deal. It's not hurting the game right now.
No, it is not.
I just play with a broken ship, and if I lose, that's what I can blame it on.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, so that is something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue.
Mail call.
So we are going on to question of the week, or questions from our listeners. Is that title good enough for you?
That's fine.
Or do we need to rename that?
No, mailbag's fine.
Okay. Well, for some reason we changed it to questions from our listeners.
I didn't change that.
Okay, so we're right now the working title is questions from our listeners. Questioners. It's the Green Inquisition. Anyway, so this is from the Dude Christian. The last time we had a question, I thought it was a female. I am sorry, Kristen. We are now going to call you always the Dude Christian if you ever respond to anything.
Yeah.
He is a male. He made sure I knew about that this time. But his last question was on the last one, wasn't it?
I think so. What was that?
No, it wasn't on the last one. It was on episode 72, I believe. Yes, it was the one, do you prefer dice or cards for randomness? What other legacy sets do we have?
Okay.
And we answered that one. Well, now we're going to answer his next one, which is, how many deck builders do you own, and what is your favorite?
Okay, and for this one, I had to go digging into BGG and figure out how to use their advanced searches.
And I found a better list.
You did, because I was having trouble getting this one to work.
I used the Geek group.
Well, and the problem is that when you search for deck builders, you also get dice and pool builders as well.
Because that's the
or
one
bag
unit.
builders, bag builders and pool
dice
builders,
and
it's all part of one.
Right, it's
thing.
all a builder game like
so.
that.
We were starting to go through this before we started recording. We unfortunately did not get through it. Like Orleans. Orleans not a deck builder. It's a bag builder.
Right. Well, let's go through
it's the same
we got 48. We don't have to really talk about much about it.
Yeah, we're not talking about 48 games.
Okay, so we got Lost Ruins of Arnak. It has a
deck
building aspect to the game where you're buying cards to get in your deck.
Because you are playing cards out of
actions.
your hand and blah. Okay, fine.
After
it's
us.
so minor.
After Us is definitely a card
yeah.
because that gives you your actions as you're playing them out.
I agree.
Aquatica is not.
No, I don't understand. You're drafting cards. You're buying cards.
Right. I don't.
But
get
you're
the
not
whole,
ever putting cards in your hand.
Yeah, I don't get the.
I don't get where
the
that's
deck
a deck
pool
builder at all.
or the stuff.
No.
Century Spice Rose is very much a deck building game.
Yes.
Dice Realms is a dice.
That's a
dice building game.
It's a dice
you're
building
building
game.
your dice.
Not,
so
yeah, okay.
I know it's not deck building, but
I know.
it's in that same thing because they grouped them together. Eminent Domain, one of my favorite deck builders.
Yep.
So there you go. One of my favorites is Eminent Domain. Great Western Trail is a deck builder because you're
Yep.
picking up more cattle.
Yep.
Heat Pedal to the Metal, only if you're playing the legacy deck.
Yes,
The-
'cause
the-
otherwise
the,
all
season,
your-
I should say.
Yeah, because otherwise all you're adding to your deck is heat.
Yes.
Maybe stress cards.
The season
if you're
you're
playing
adding
poorly,
upgrades and stuff.
if you're playing poorly, you're adding heat and stress
Yeah,
cards.
right.
But yeah, in the actual season, yeah, you're
You're
adding
getting cards
new cards.
every new race. You're
Yeah.
adding cards. And some of the cards, as soon as you spend it, they're out of your deck for the rest of the game. Actually, out of your deck, period.
Right.
You don't get them back. Legendary, the Marvel deck building game. This
My
is
favorite.
your favorite one of all time, which I see because it's the one we've had probably the longest.
Yes.
But I really thought you liked Mystic Veil.
I do
That
like
is-
Mystic
is
Veil
that a
is not a
deck builder,
deck builder.
or is
It's
that
a
a
card
card-
crafter.
yeah, it's a
That's
card crafting
crafter.
game.
Yes.
But it's also building your deck with technically new cards that have new powers.
Yeah, but it's not considered a deck builder. It's considered a card
I know.
crafter.
Summer Camp.
I love this
This
game.
is a great game. We bought that because all four
I
of us, me, you, Justin, and Eric,
have
our
all
two sons,
worked.
have all worked at a summer
Yeah.
camp, and we thought this was cool. And
I love the theme
This
of
is
that one.
pretty thematic
Yes.
because it
This
has
one
all the
I will
different merit
agree.
badges you're getting. And
This one is very thematic. And
if you've worked at a summer camp or
if
been to a
you've-
summer camp like that, a
right,
scout camp
right.
or something.
Yes, no, I love this game.
Revive. I don't remember enough about Revive to remember
I
it. We've only
couldn't,
played it the
yeah.
once. We played it at the retreat, and I don't
year
think I
ago.
100% understood the game.
No, we've got it. We just haven't
Yeah,
played
we
it yet.
haven't. We've had it for a year or so.
Ours
We've
are
never played it.
coming. We have to get through the P's first.
The Siege of
And the
Rundar.
Qs.
This is a different type of deck builder
Yes.
because everybody's working on to get a card into somebody else's deck.
And you never have more than 10 cards in your deck or 12 cards in
Right.
your
So
deck.
you're not building your deck up. You're just improving on your
Yes.
deck.
Yes.
Ascension deck building game is definitely
Well,
a
yeah,
deck builder.
definitely.
Automobiles. This is a bag builder
That's a
because
bag
you're
builder.
putting cubes into your bag to
Yes.
move it around. Now, yes, you are getting cards. No, you're not. You're only getting the cubes. The
Yeah,
cards
it's only
stay out on
cubes.
the board
Yeah.
so you know what it does.
Yep.
Blackout Hong Kong.
That's a deck builder.
This is a deck builder, yes. Clank Legacy Acquisitions Incorporated, of
Yes.
course, is a deck builder. Flotilla, yes, it's a deck
Yep.
builder because you can purchase new cards.
Yep.
Quaxaquedlenburg is a
Nope,
bag
that's
builder.
a bag builder.
The Taverns of Tiefenfall,
Deck builder.
yep. Altiplano is a bag builder.
Yep.
City of Iron, second edition. This is not a bag
It's a
builder.
deck builder.
A deck builder. We haven't played it a lot,
No,
though.
we haven't played it since the Seas.
Concordia is a deck,
Deck
builder,
builder.
because you're getting cards. Corrosion is a deck builder because there's places where you can purchase new cards as they come out.
Yeah, I guess there is, isn't
Yeah,
there?
and when you play that card, it goes in a little slot, and you
Yeah.
can't get that card back till you get back
Okay.
around. Though,
All
but
right,
it does have the deck building stuff in it. I do
Okay.
love that game. That game is so different than almost any other game
Yeah,
we've ever played.
I agree there.
Dice Forge is a dice construction game.
Yeah.
Horde's High Command, I don't think is a deck. Well, you have to build your deck before the game.
Yeah, that's not really a deck builder
Yeah,
during
so
the
it's kind
game.
of it's like a Magic game almost. I
Yeah.
mean, you already have your deck built.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, though, you do have cards that's not in it that you can purchase. Yes, that's how it builds. You have cards you can purchase, but then it has the whole, almost like a smash-up thing where you've got trying to take over the areas. Life on the Amazonian is a bag builder.
That's a bag builder.
Orleans is a bag builder. Paperback is a deck builder,
Yeah.
though.
It is a deck builder.
Rolling Heights is a bag builder.
Um,
Because you're getting the different meeples.
Yeah.
And it's not really a bag builder.
No.
It goes into your construction site and you're rolling them all at each
you're
round,
having
so
to choose which ones
it's a
you're going to roll.
pool building.
Yeah, it's a pool builder.
Because that's part of this. Tesla versus Edison Duel. I haven't played that game in a while, so I don't remember what the deck building aspect to it is. And we even did a how to play video for this.
Yeah. I don't remember.
And I believe I
don't
taught the game
remember.
too. It's one of the few
don't
ones that
know.
I actually did the rules breakdown for, I believe. I think. I don't know.
know.
Trains. This is our very first deck builder.
This was the first deck builder we
we
ever
played
bought.
this long before we even knew about Domain.
Dominion. Yeah, I love this game.
And we like this a lot more than we like
it
Dominion.
plays. There's the similarities are definitely there. You definitely see now that I've played Dominion. I see Dominion in it.
Yes,
but I enjoy it so much more.
Well, Dominion's supposed to be the granddaddy of all the deck builders. Everything's based off of it. Not really.
I really like trains. I like what it does. I love the board aspect and the area control on the board.
Cloud Age. We've played it once. I don't even remember the game.
Nope, I don't either.
I remember it being like an orangish yellow game. Yeah, I think it's over my shoulder over here.
That's the kind of a deserty.
Yes,
I remember that.
And you're in an
played
airship,
it in the seas, and we've only played it once. Need to play that again.
Colony. This is
that is a.
Is it? It is. Yeah, it is a deck builder because you're purchasing the cards, and then you can upgrade the cards, but you also have dice. Or is it a dice?
I think it's a dice pool builder.
I don't remember.
We
haven't played
either.
this one in a while either.
No, we have not. We've played it a few times, but we haven't played it in a while.
Extraordinary Adventures Pirates. We've played this twice, and it wasn't too long ago that we played it. Well, in the E's. So it's been a couple years, and we played it with Ben. I know that, but I don't remember enough about it.
I don't remember cards, but I could be wrong. I don't remember.
Well, I think the cards was how you're moving. Thunderstone Quest, we've only played once, and it is a deck builder because you can purchase cards throughout the game to go into the dungeon and quest. Deck building, the deck building game. This is somewhat of a deck building game because you're getting cards. You're drawing cards, actually, aren't you? Up to a certain amount of nail.
Yeah, something like that. You use the nails on the back.
In your hand to draft the cards that are listed on with the nail account on the back. But you're using them also to build your deck.
Yes.
So you may be getting them, but you're also laying them out as well. So we have villains for the legendary a Marvel deck building game. Shards of Infinity. We have only played this once, and it was very long ago when it first came out.
The S's
we haven't
are
played
coming.
it. Yep. So we'll let you know about that. But I was thinking it was a little bit. I want to say Ascension or Race for the Galaxy. Something I can't remember exactly. Like I said, it's been a while, and if I'm not mistaken, they just had an expansion come out for this. Viscounts of the West Kingdom. We've played Viscounts once, and it's been a while since we played it too. So I don't remember much of the deck building aspect of it. I know some of the newer ones have that, like Scholars has that, and that one's on here, Scholars of the South Tigris. There is a deck building aspect to that one. Xenoshift Dreadmire does have a deck building game, but I don't remember a lot of it.
I don't remember. We've only played it once.
Epic Resort. This game, as much as like going, do we really need this game still? And every time we play, it was like, I forgot how fun this game is. It's so comical.
Fun. Yeah.
Then we have Collab. Collab is
more of a tableau builder.
Yeah, it's a tableau builder
than a deck builder, but
dice pool builder because you're getting dice. You're getting more and more dice.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's
what it is. The pool builder. Cubitos.
Cubitos is a dice pool builder.
Yep. And Endless Winter. Now, Collab, Cubitos, Endless Winter, and Scholars. It's down at the bottom because I haven't ranked them yet.
Okay. We've played Endless Winter once when we first picked it up.
Yeah, when you go to other places, you can pick up other cards.
Yeah. I don't remember how the decks work, though.
When you're there first or something like that, I can't remember. But you do get other cards to help
It's definitely one of those on my list of things I want to play more of. I want to figure that game out, but it's just we haven't had a chance to do it.
Yep. So, the dude Kristen. I
think it's Christian.
Yeah, that's true.
It's IAN.
Justin had a kid on his another player on his soccer team growing up named Christian.
Yeah, the IAN, which we missed last time. But anyway, my favorite has always been Legendary, and if I had to pick something other than Legendary, honestly, I'd probably go Trains, even though we haven't played it in a really long time.
Yeah, I like
really
Trains.
Like it.
But I do really like Eminent
Domain. I like
Domain.
Eminent Domain as well.
But I do like the Legendary Marvels.
Yeah.
But I think Eminent Domain has always been one of my favorite
I can
card
see that.
games.
It has been one of your favorites for a long time.
So I hope that answers your question, Kristen. The dude, Christian.
I'm sorry, Christian. He is going to play this up for all it's worth.
Well, it was my mistake. I seen
them.
Well,
and the IAN should have been a giveaway. And for some reason, we both missed it.
Yeah. And it didn't. They joined the Facebook. He joined the Facebook group, so I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I looked at the picture and I was like, it's two of them. It's husband and wife. Which one's it? I took a 50-50 shot and I was wrong. So sorry about that. We have it right now. So this is going to do it for episode 74. If you liked this episode or any of our content and haven't subscribed to the podcast, please do so by going to iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcast. And while you're there, give us a rating and comments. This is how others can find the show. But in the meantime, if you want to follow us on social media, just to keep up with us, just follow the links in the show notes. There you'll find links to Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, YouTube, Threads, Discord, and our merch shop. Or you can contact us directly at meeplesociety@mail.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the next one.